Hey, welcome everybody to October. Can you believe it? It's the October 4 edition of Father, Son, and Holy Sport NFL show. Let's get to it. I'm G-Man. That there is T-Money. Hey, we got a big Thursday night game coming up. We're going to be talking about the Bears and the Commanders and what they can do to try to get back to winning ways there for the Bears. And we're going to move in and cover some stuff, T-Money.
All right, let's do it, man. I'm excited for another week. Halloween's around the corner. Football's in the middle of the season. It's getting great, nice and chilly out. It just seems like tailgating weather.
Ooh.
Gotta love it.
Oh, I can smell the grill and I can taste the beer at the tailgate. Oh, man, that sounds good.
Excited.
Hey, how about looking at some of the disappointing teams this year? Look at the AFC. You know, it's Cincinnati and it's Denver, I think, in the AFC. And, you know, looking at Cincinnati and the Bengals, T-Money, you're right there with them, man. Is it time to panic on the Bengals?
Oh, man. I mean, I am scared right now. As a Bengals fan, Joe Burrow does not look himself, obviously. He right now is the worst quarterback in the NFL statistically, and that's a low par because Zach Wilson plays quarterback. Yeah, I'm going to say it's time to panic. I think they made a mistake not trading T. Higgins. I said it over and over again. Trade T. Higgins before this and get some draft capital. You know, our offensive line, we spent a lot of money on, and it doesn't look right. We cannot run the ball. And because Joe Burrow's hurt, he can't move in the pocket. He doesn't seem to be able to be accurate. So we can't move the ball. And on top of that, Derrick frickin' Henry just ran all over us. So I'm very concerned. I don't think this team is going to make the playoffs. I think we should have sat Joe Burrow to start the year. I think it's over. And the AFC is just too difficult, man, especially in our division. The AFC North might be the most difficult division in football. I'm very concerned. I think you do press the panic button. I just want Joe Burrow to rest because you know how these calf injuries turn into Achilles injuries real quick. So yeah, I'm sad. It's panic time. I'm past panic at this point. I don't even know what to do. It's a disappointing season for the Bengals, who had real Super Bowl hopes.
Hey, Jamar Chase had it right when he called this out when the injury happened preseason. He said, wait till game 5. That's what he wanted Joe to do. He said that in the press. I love Chase, man. Chase tells it like it is.
Yeah.
They ask him questions in the locker room. You can't rope that guy. You can't rope a wild horse. Jamar Chase is a wild horse, man. They keep trying to ask him these questions. He tells you the answer.
Yeah.
They said, hey, are you open? Are you getting the ball? He goes, I'm always open. The guy is so good, and he's taking a hit. And all the fantasy managers who have Chase are taking a hit because Chase is not getting the ball down the field. Burrow's throwing everything short, as we talked about last week on the podcast. But I'll tell you what, in that division, I still think he's better than Deshaun Watson and Kenny Pickett. Luckily, those other two teams have quarterbacks worse than Burrow. And so really Ravens are in the lead in the division. They have one loss. They got to go to Pittsburgh. That's going to be a war. I'm telling you right now. So as you said, maybe it is a great division because I think Pittsburgh's going to give the Ravens a run for their money coming up. But back to Burrow. Next up, he's got Arizona. He's at Arizona. Cardinals are playing well.
Yeah.
But right now the Bengals are 1-3. They're looking at this next run here for the Bengals. They've got the Seahawks. They got the Cardinals and the Seahawks. They can win those two games. I don't know what they do with Joe. They're going to have to win with a backup. Okay. But after that, it gets tougher. So they got to play the 49ers and Bills after that. And they need Joe for those two games. They can't come out of these next 4 games with 1-3 record out of those 4. Then they're 2-6.
Yeah. I mean, they have a tough stretch ahead of them. Seattle looks awesome. San Francisco, Buffalo, Baltimore, Jacksonville. That's 4 out of their next 6 games. I mean, that's a difficult schedule after the Arizona game. Looking back, I don't know why we didn't go get a better high-end backup. I mean, look at Josh Dobbs. Look at Mitchell Trubisky. You know, these other high-end backups that, yes, they're backups, but we have Jake Browning as our backup QB, who's not an NFL quarterback. and we could have sat Joe for the first 6 weeks of the season. And maybe we could have beaten Los Angeles. We probably could have beaten Tennessee, but the defense was getting run all over. Could have beaten Arizona. I mean,
still only scored 3 points.
I know, but it's just it's sad. I'm just sad. I genuinely think we're going to lose these next 2 games. I'm not confident at all. And then we go into San Francisco, Buffalo, and that could be the end of our season through 9 weeks. I mean, if we lose both of these games, the season is over. If we lose one of 2, I don't know. We might have a chance.
Bengals are favored by 3 in Arizona. So the books are projecting them to win that game. So let's see if they can do it.
Yep. Fingers crossed, man. But speaking of the Bills, after their dominant win versus Miami this weekend, are the Bills now the best team in the league?
In the NFL?
In the NFL.
Look at you, T-Money. You know, you jumping on the bandwagon, man. What the heck? The week before, everybody talked about how Miami was resetting the whole NFL and they're the team to beat and all of that. And the Bills have not played well. And all of a sudden, now everybody's up on the Bills now. I mean, no, not yet, my friend. Not yet. Pump the brakes, as my friend T-Money says.
Yeah.
Josh had a good week 4. Let's not forget his weeks 1 through 3. Here's the stats: weeks 1 through 3, 7 of 20, 127 yards, 2 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Week 4 versus Miami, okay, 6 of 8, 153, 3 touchdowns, including one to my man Gabe Davis. Way to throw to Gabe, Josh. We like that. But you got to show me a little bit more, Josh, before I'm going to put your Bills up there at the top of the league.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. I think a lot of people are kind of coming at the Chiefs for almost losing to the Jets, playing badly. They were up 17-0, kind of threw it in. They should have had 30 points. Patrick slid at the 1, so it would have been 30-20.
Oh, man. Killed some bettors on
major
that.
Bets.
That's crazy.
And we'll get to them later, but we're crushing the Chiefs for this, and the Bills lost to them. The Bills lost to the Jets. And
sure,
Mahomes had 2 turnovers. Josh had 4 turnovers. Like, let's pump the brakes. People are so prisoner of the moment. And let's not forget the San Francisco 49ers do exist, and they look like an unstoppable machine. Now, they haven't played a lot of great teams yet, so they're going to be tested here with the Cowboys. But this is how it always goes with the Buffalo Bills, man. They look great in the beginning. Everyone's high on Josh Allen. Everyone's high on the Buffalo Bills. They're Super Bowl favorites. And then the bad weather comes. People start tightening up in the playoffs. You know, people are refined and better later in the season, and they don't look as good. So, look, I think right now, they look like one of the best teams in the NFL. But crowning them the champions after 4 weeks, I don't know about that. Like you said, let's pump the brakes on these guys. I could see Miami splitting the season with them 1-1. And then are we going to say Miami's the best team? You know, let's relax a little bit. It's very early. We're not even a quarter of the way through the season.
It was great to see Buffalo play that well. They've been kind of down in the dumps, and their fans, and great to see them come out and play that well. Miami is still in this thing. Miami could beat Buffalo the next time they play. And then you've got the king. If you want to be the king, you've got to beat the king, and that's Kansas City. And Mahomes is amazing. I don't care how close the game was. You have the ball in that guy's hands at the end. Watch out, man. They're still the king. It's still competitive in that AFC.
Yeah.
But looking at the Bills, they're favored. They got the early game out of London on Sunday. They're favored by 5.5 in London against the Jags. The Jags played in London last week. So let's go, Bills. Keep it going, man. Hey, want to shout out to our sponsor, Blue Tees Golf. Go to blueteesgolf.com. Find great golf products. Pick up your golf game next spring, and we're going to get you ready for next spring. Order some stuff. Put in our coupon code, FSHS. You get a 10% discount. blueteesgolf.com. Hey, T-Money, want to go to the NFC a little bit here, talk about one of the surprise teams. If you look at the surprise team in the NFC, I got to think that might be Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay and Baker crushed the Saints on the road. They're now moving to a bye this week, but they've had a great start.
Yeah.
Baker's been a key to that. Do you think Baker is a long-term solution there for the Bucs?
I mean, who would have thought this in the beginning of the season? But I do. Baker's reminds me a little bit, and I've always been a fan of Baker. I always think he got the raw
Yeah,
end
we
of the
always have. We're fans of his father son.
yeah, father son's always been a fan of this guy.
We love Baker.
We think he got the raw end of the deal with Cleveland. Hey, what's wild is, would Cleveland trade Deshaun Watson for Baker right now? I think they would. I think they would straight up for that contract and that play. I think they would. Look, Baker kind of reminds me, and I think he's headed on the trajectory of maybe not the eliteness and the contracts of Kirk Cousins, but like Geno Smith, Kirk Cousins era, where, hey, you might be the 15th best quarterback in the league, but you can get us to the playoffs. Now, maybe if we don't surround you with an elite team, we have a ceiling. But if I'm Tampa Bay, I would love Baker as a long-term option, especially in the AFC or the NFC, sorry, that's much weaker. That division has no elite quarterbacks. I mean, Derek Carr, is just hurt and isn't looking himself. And then Ritter and Bryce Young, who knows? Those are very young quarterbacks. These guys are set up to win this division this year pretty easily. And the next few, I mean, they're the 3 seed right now through 4 weeks. It's pretty crazy. And right now, the next few weeks, they got the Lions, Falcons, Bills will be tough, and then Texans, Titans. Then 4 of the next 5 weeks are very winnable. And if they beat the Lions, are competitive versus the Bills, I mean, those are 2 big-time teams right now that if you can show that you're playing well versus good defenses, good, solid playoff teams, I'm not asking for dominant wins or even a win, but competitive, score 20-plus points, don't turn the ball over too much. Baker could end up being the long-term option here, and that guy's on the track right now for maybe most improved player of the year. So watch out for that for the year as well.
I agree with you, man. I just add on to what you said. I agree with your points you're making. It's really great to see Tampa stepping up this year and the surprise team, in my mind, in the NFC, doing great. Here's something that's really interesting on the stats for Baker. Do you know he leads the NFL in passer rating and completion percentage on third down? Third down is where he's doing it. He threw 7 passes on third down snaps against the Saints and completed 6 of them for 80 yards, 2 touchdowns, and no interceptions. That produced a near perfect passer rating for him on third down against the Saints, man. That's where he's getting it done. Tampa is on bye this week. When they come back, they got the Lions and Falcons both at home. So they can win both of those games. Those are winnable at home.
Exactly.
Coming back, that could send them to 5-1.
That would be very impressive. We hope the best for Baker. This program's always been a fan.
Baker. I just want to say, Tampa Bay, give Baker some commercials, man, at Tampa Bay Stadium. Let Baker do some commercials out there on the stadium, man.
Those were great commercials back in the day. They really were. Let's go on to the Chiefs. We talked about them a little bit when we were talking best team in the NFL, but are you showing signs of worry after this team struggled versus the Jets? What are your thoughts coming out of this game? You concerned? Everything all right? Where's your head at on the Chiefs now after this Jets game, G?
No, I'm not worried at all about the Chiefs. They're still the king. I said they're the king. You got to beat the king. They still have Reed and Mahomes. They're the anchor of the team.
Yeah.
They're up 1 game already. After 4 games, they're up 1. And they're AFC West over the Chargers. So they're in the lead in their division, as we all expected and predicted. Reed and Mahomes are still there. The biggest concern is Taylor Swift and the distraction of Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce is like lost out there. I mean, this guy usually puts up 30 fantasy points a game, and he's getting 15 because he's always looking up in the box to see if Taylor's smiling at him. This guy's totally goo-goo-eyed over her, man.
That is hilarious. Hey, like you said,
they're 2-0 with Taylor Swift in attendance, though.
That's true. And remember, they're actually 3-0 with Chris Jones back in. That's really where the Lions beat them up, was in the run game, and he's back getting pressure on QBs. This defense is still looking great. That they've not allowed. I think they've allowed 5 total touchdowns all year. And Kansas City, like you said, winning the division, they're actually first in the AFC right now because their only loss is a non-conference team in the Lions. This team is fine. They were up 17-0. They threw in the towel. I am not worried at all. They always kind of play shitty versus shitty teams, and then they murder the teams that they're supposed to be close with. So I am not worried. Like you said, Reed Mahomes, the anchor. Travis Kelce, the game just got away from Mahomes a little bit, threw a couple lazy picks. This team is fine. Pacheco looked like a man possessed. They were really feeding him because that's where he's from. He's from New Jersey. So it was basically a home game for him. He had one of his best games, if not his best game of his career. So that was good to see. That was good to see for the Chiefs' progression. I think it's all kind of casual for them right now until they get closer to the playoffs. They're fighting for one thing, and that's a ring. They don't give a shit about a game on Sunday, October 1st. You know what I mean? Like, this is a really chill session for them right now.
Hey, we're agreeing on a lot of things.
I know. You got to argue with me a little bit, G. Come on.
Hey, I like speaking of Mahomes, 2 picks against the Jets. Safety Justin Reed. I love what he said talking about Mahomes. The press asked Reed what he thought of Mahomes throwing the interceptions. He said he could throw 10 interceptions, and I'll tell you the same thing. They said, "What's that? Give the ball to 15."
Yeah.
That's what they know. He's the leader. They know he's going to come through. Here's a next gen stat I want to throw at you, though. Why is Mahomes scrambling so much this year? And my question to you, T-Money, is it designed in like that, or is he running for his life because no one's open? Here's the stat. Patrick Mahomes has scrambled a career high 10% of his dropbacks this season. The first season of his career, it was over 6.5%. So he's never been over 6.5% of the time scrambling. This year, he's 10%. Why is that?
I'm going to lean towards Kelce being somewhat injured a little bit. He's maybe not fully back. And I think they got a lot of good, talented receivers, but they're young. They had Juju last year, who had been in the league, as annoying as he is and how non-elite he is. He understands offenses. He's had 1,000-yard seasons. And they had Mecole Hardman, who's been there forever, it seemed like, and been in that system. They lost both those guys. Now they're relying on Sky Moore, second-year guy, Kadarius Toney, who teams have given up on. I just think earning that trust is what they're building through the season. Rashid Rice, also a rookie. Those are their main targets right now. So they can't go to Kelce every play. And I do think they're really trying to get these guys involved. But if they're not open, Mahomes is scrambling.
And they play Minnesota at Minnesota this Sunday at 1. Chiefs only favored by 5.5 at Minnesota. So interesting how low that line is. So you would think they would beat him by more than that. Minnesota's in a deep fall right now. Hey, let's move back and talk about the AFC East. The Patriots are doing what we thought might happen, T-Money, and they continue to fall away from AFC East contention as Buffalo and Miami seem to be ascending and leaving them in the dust, T-Money. They have to do something. Should the Patriots move on from Mac Jones, or is the problem bigger than that?
Oh, wow. Bigger than that. Yes, the problem is bigger than that because they can't evaluate talent. This team has been poor at drafting anything but defense forever. They can't get an offensive line together. They can't get skill position players together. And clearly they misevaluated a quarterback. All right. I just think if this team is not going to be elite defensively, they're in trouble. And the Cowboys went buck wild over them. They just lost their best linebacker, Matthew Judon. They just lost their awesome rookie safety, Christian Gonzalez, for both of them for the year. It's time to move on from Mac Jones. Give Zappe a look. Give Matt Moore a look. I don't care who you give a look to, but Mac Jones clearly is not a starting quarterback. I mean, name a team that would trade their current person for Mac Jones. Name a team. I don't think people would trade Josh Dobbs for Mac Jones right now. I don't think after Zach Wilson's game, at least that guy shows he has the talent. Mac Jones has never had the talent. He's supposed to be an accurate, sit in the pocket, understand the offense kind of guy. He's not shown that. He's crazy, throwing turnovers left and right. He's annoying people in the locker room. The reports are coaches are fed up with his attitude. He's kicking people in the groin. What has this guy got going for him that everyone's like, okay, but this looks good? There's nothing. It's time to move on. And Bill Belichick's got to give up his player personnel. He's got to get a GM in there if he wants to stay. That's my big thing. Give up GM duties. let someone else handle that because Bill Belichick's got too big of an ego right now, thinking he's the smartest guy in the room. And clearly, with that roster right now, he's not.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said. Again, T Money, I'm agreeing with you. What the heck? Yeah, the defense still, even with that shellacking, they're still the 10th best unit in football. They only give up 297 yards a game, including that last shellacking. So the focus is on the offense, and the whole offense needs work. It's not just Mac Jones.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of things you just said. It's a thing that's built up over time. They're drafting, they're managing talent. You forgot about the offensive coordinator fiasco last year.
Yeah.
When is Belichick going to take accountability for that ridiculous what he did last year to the team with 2 OCs? And how about trading essentially Jacoby Myers for Juju? They got rid of Jacoby. He's going off with the Raiders.
Horrible.
Juju has not worked out. So they made they're, like you said, their player personnel, how they're managing the offense, the offensive coordinator. That's a management issue. And that's Belichick. And I agree with you. He should not have that GM role.
No.
If we were in a company and the company was not performing, and you sometimes want that leader, that CEO, to focus on one part of the business. This is what Belichick has to do. Get the GM stuff off of him. Have Belichick focus on that offense and fix it. Fix the offense. That's what he has to do. Go and fix it. I got some options, though, for you, T Money, on Mac Jones. How about this? I'm going to give you 3 options for Mac Jones. Number one, you said number one, Bailey Zappi. He was a rookie last year. He did well. Get him out there and start him. That's a low-cost option. Here's a couple trade options. Number one, how about Kirk Cousins? Vikings are probably going to go to 1-4. They're going to lose to the Chiefs. And his contract's up after this year. So they might get rid of Kirk Cousins.
I love it.
You like that one?
Love it.
All right. How about my other one? Your girl's, your fiance's other man, Jimmy G. Okay. The Patriots originally drafted Jimmy G in 2014. So you know that they like him. The Raiders are plummeting into oblivion. They're about to blow up they're going to blow up the organization. And why not grab Jimmy G out of the heap pile and bring him over?
I love that one too. I think those are both better. But at the end of the day, these are about upgrading for Mac Jones, and that all 3 options seem better than what they're doing. So hey, I like both.
The main thing is get a sense of urgency, Patriots. Let's go. Do something, man. Don't let it keep going. The Patriots are up next Sunday at 1. They're at home. They're favored against the Saints by 2. How about that?
Interesting.
Hey, let's go on to big bets, talking about some of the games and the lines. Let's get you ready for some big bets. And you know that we're killing it this year at Father Son Sports. We're 14-5 for the year. That includes our accuracy against the spread and our player props. Killing it, man. 74% we're giving you against the spread and against these player props, man. We're going to give you our lock of the week, which is our best pick of the week. We're going to give you our dog lock, which is an underdog that someone might be able to win the game outright. So let's start off with our lock pick of the week, Team Money. What do you got?
I got the 49ers -3.5 versus the Cowboys. I don't see how the Cowboys win this game, and I don't see how they keep it close. They have been so reliant on this defense, getting turnovers, playing bad quarterbacks, and getting pressure on those quarterbacks. And right now, the San Francisco 49ers probably have the best offensive line, the best run game, and Brock Purdy doesn't turn the ball over. And let's just take a moment. I know the Cowboys look awesome, but let's read off who they've played so far. And you tell me to stop when you think I get to an elite quarterback or even an elite team. The Giants, the Jets, the Cardinals, who they lost to, and the Patriots. Who have they played that we're like, oh, man, that's going to really help them come playoff time, getting that experience? No, they're blowing everyone out. They're not in tight games. They've not really had to run significant offensive plays. Give me the Niners all day to blow these guys out. The Niners are the better defense, the better offense, better coach team. Check mark at every spot other than maybe Dak Prescott. I'll take the Niners, blow them out to make a statement for the NFC.
Okay. Well, Team Money, you and I don't talk before these bets. Sometimes we do, but I got the same pick, man. I got San
Woo!
Francisco -3.5 is the line I see this morning. Here, we're giving these Wednesday morning. Things can change here by the weekend, but I'm agreeing, man. 49ers have won 12 of the last 17 home games by 15 or more points.
Yeah.
And they opened the season with wins of 18 or more in 3 of their 4 games. So can they cover that 3.5? Of course they can. Give me the 49ers also to break Dallas's heart once again on Sunday night football for my lock pick of the week also. But I'll give you another one since we picked the same one. And I'm going to go to that Chiefs game. I mean, the Chiefs over the Vikings. I can't believe this line's only 4.
Yeah.
I'm going with the Chiefs there to recover. They're taking a lot of heat this week. Watch them plaster Minnesota and send Kirk Cousins to the Patriots, per my prediction.
I love it.
Let's go to the dog lock. Yeah.
Dog lock. Right. We're green on everything this week. I like the Chiefs pick too. Hey, dog lock of the week. Bengals, prove me wrong. All right. Cardinals +3 at home. Josh Dobbs playing well. The run game coming up with James Conner. Prove me wrong. I think the Cardinals are going to win this game outright. Give me the frickin' money line over +3. All right. This is going to be they just hung. The other thing about the Cardinals that people don't understand is that they've hung with tough teams. Like they're not playing the Dallas Cowboys schedule here. They're playing good teams, and Josh Dobbs is playing well, right? They played the Commanders, the Giants, who they lost to but should have beaten, the Cowboys and the Niners. They've hung with all of them. So good defenses. So I like them to win this thing outright at home. Josh Dobbs, rolling.
Ooh, look at Team Money. Okay, man. Hey, I'm going to go to Acrisure Stadium. Do you know where that's at? I'll tell you what it really is. That's Three Rivers Stadium in Pittsburgh, baby. Steelers against the Ravens. How about that battle? Ravens coming into town. Do you know that as an underdog in week 5 and later, Mike Tomlin's teams cover 71% of the time? And as a home dog, Steelers are 82% against the spread when they're home dog.
Crazy.
The underdog in this matchup, these two teams, has covered in 11 straight games. Okay? So that's enough for me, man. Tomlin is going to beat Harbaugh in this game. Give me the Steelers. I'll take the 4 just to get the points, but they might beat him outright. Sunday at 1:00, my dog lock pick of the week.
All right. I like it, G. It's going to be a battle there for the Yinzers in Pittsburgh. All right. All right. And let's go to everyone's favorite bet section here. G-Man's player prop of the week. What do you got for us, G? You're hot right now. You're hot. What are you telling us?
2 of 2 last time. 2 of 2. I'm going to give you 2 more this week. We talked about the Chiefs and Mahomes and his scrambling, Team Money. I'm going over on the rush yards for Mahomes. Over on the rush yards, he's averaging 38 rush yards per game. The bet last week was 18 yards. It's not released yet. It's Wednesday morning. It'll come out. It's probably going to be about 18 yards. He's averaging 38. Bet over on rushing yards for Mahomes. My second pick, Team Money, going to Miami. Miami should have a comeback game here. I like Achane over on the rush yards. He's been over 100 yards 2 games in a row. And I also like his touchdown. If he comes out at least 1 touchdown, he's had 2 weeks in a row with 2 touchdowns each week. So I'd like to see the props when they come out, but over on the rush yards I like right now, and at least 1 touchdown for Achane.
All right. I like it, G.
Okay. All right. Well, let's go to fantasy. Let's talk fantasy. All you fantasy managers, let's get you ready for week 5. And we got the buys coming up this week. All you fantasy managers, we've got in the AFC, the Browns and the Chargers are on bye. In the NFC, the Seahawks and the Bucks are on bye. That means Herbert's out, Keenan Allen's out, Kenneth Walker, Mike Evans, DK. Those guys are all out of your lineup. So what are you going to do? We're going to help you with those picks right now. We're going to start off with our hot and cold game. G-Man's giving you hot players that are on the bubble. Could be good DFS plays that you should start. Team Money's going to say, no, wait a minute. Cold starter. Team Money, you're going to give it. Cold guys are going to break your heart if you start them. So let's start off with the quarterback. Let's go to the quarterback hot pick of the week. G-Man, I'm going with Justin Fields against Washington on Thursday night. Justin completed 28 of 35 team money for 335 and 4 touchdowns, racking up 29 fantasy points last week. He's now eclipsed 200 passing yards in 3 of 4 games while accounting for 8 touchdowns. If he can get his rushing stats up, team money, he will really be big. So I got Fields as a start at QB. Great DFS value, $6,700 only on DraftKings. My upside quarterback hot pick of the week.
Okay. We finally disagree. I don't like Justin Fields.
Is he in your cold list?
He is in my cold list. All right. But I know this is a Thursday night game, so I'm giving another pick for this. Don't fall for the Justin Fields hype. He played the worst defense in the league. So I don't like it. He's only been over 15 one time. So be careful on that. Okay. My other guy, though, my other cold one, Russell Wilson. All right. Playing an elite defense, especially that back, those defensive backs, Sauce Gardner and the boys, you already know. They've only allowed one quarterback over 19 points so far. So their they play very well versus QBs. Russell Wilson is not good at all anyways. And so don't fall for the hype here. All right. Don't fall for the hype after that game. Russell Wilson is not going to play well. The Chicago Bears just fell apart. I'll take Russell Wilson under. I'd rather start guys like Brock Purdy, CJ Stroud, or all projected below him.
Okay, good. Over under on that game's low. It's 43, not real low, but it is 43. It looks like almost a pick 'em game out there in Denver for that one. All right, good pick. Let's go to running backs. I'm going with David Montgomery from Detroit against Carolina. Montgomery rushed 32 times, T-Money, tying his career high rushing attempts for 121 yards, 3 touchdowns. He's reclaimed the backfield from Jahmyr Gibbs. Jahmyr Gibbs is in there, but nowhere near what the damage Montgomery is doing from a fantasy standpoint against Carolina team this Sunday that's allowed the second most touchdowns in the NFL. David Montgomery's a start. He's only going for $6,600. That's why I like him. $6,600 for Montgomery's production. That's a buy, man. My upside running back hot pick of the week.
All right. G-Man, back on the save wavelength, because my cold running back of the week is Jahmyr Gibbs. All right. Same reasoning you just said. Jahmyr Gibbs projected for 12.4 versus those Panthers. He hasn't even been over 12.6 this whole season. He's had over 9.2 once. All right. Montgomery owns this backfield. And until he proves otherwise, Jahmyr Gibbs belongs on the bench like Dan Campbell has him all game.
Hey, all right. Good pick there. All right. Let's go to wide receiver. Let's go to the hot pick for the wide receiver. I'm going DJ Moore, Chicago, against Washington, of course. Let's see when that
Thursday.
When is game. That's the Thursday game, right? Okay. Moore secured 8 of 9 targets for 131 and a touchdown on Sunday versus the Broncos. T-Money. His receptions, receiving yards, and targets were the best of the season. So he's on the upswing here, T-Money. They're finding their groove. And Justin Fields is picking up. So's Moore. These two should remain hot Thursday night on the road against the Commanders. And I just can't believe what the DraftKings DFS price is for DJ. Only $5,700. You can get him for under $6,000. DJ Moore, upside wide receiver, hot pick of the week.
All right. We'll see how that one goes here. My cold wide receiver of the week, G-Man, I'm following the trend. Jerry Jeudy. All right. Jerry Jeudy projected for 12 points versus the Jets. He's only averaging 8.9 on the season. He's only been over 13 points one time. And again, he's playing 2 top-end corners. And my boy Sauce Gardner is going to be on him all night. All right. Ooh. On top of that, it's not like they're playing well and he's getting a large target share. He's only getting 5 or 6 targets a game. All right. 7 is the most he's gotten all year. So not only is he not proving it with his catches and skill, but the volume is not there. Jerry Jeudy is going to continue to be cold, especially when Russell Wilson is throwing him the ball. So he is my cold wide receiver of the week.
It's going to be a battle out there in Denver, man. That's the 4:25 game. Can Denver get another win out there, man? Hey, let's go to your hot pick, T-Money, for the waiver wire this week. Give us one pick that you really like.
All right. I always like to give a long term and a short term here. Long term, Michael
Okay.
Wilson for the Cardinals. Really good prospect. When Kyler comes back, you might be able to support two elite guys with Hollywood Brown and Michael Wilson. So you can keep him as a stash. I don't think he's going to make a lot of noise yet. That's still Hollywood Brown's wide receiver room. But the guy I really like for immediate impact is Romeo Doubs for the Packers. All right. Romeo Doubs right now only owned 53% of leagues. So you can go get him potentially. He's over 18 points per game in 3 games out of the 4 so far. He's the wide receiver 1. Jordan Love seems like he can support multiple wide receivers even when Christian Watson gets back. And Christian Watson is still more of a deep threat than an every down kind of wide receiver. Dobbs has 12 and 13 targets the last 2 games. He is going to be fed the ball and be continuing on this trend of wide receiver 1 for the Packers. I like Dobbs as the best waiver wire guy you can go get for immediate impact.
Yeah, and what is up with Christian Watson not getting back? It's just crazy.
Yeah.
And speaking of the targets have really picked up from Jordan Love. He was throwing the first 2 games through below 27 throws a game, and the last 2 games he's been over 36. One of the games against New Orleans, he threw 44 times. Exactly. So that's a lot more targets to go around right now in Green Bay. All right, good pick, T-Money. Let's go to take or mistake. A little game for you, T-Money. I pick a player that had a big week. T-Money tells me whether we should take the bait and start him this week, or would that be a mistake? I'm going to another Dobbs. I'm going to quarterback Josh Dobbs, T-Money. And I didn't even know you were going to go for him on the waiver wire, T-Money, when I got this one. I think this is a good one here. Dobbs completed 28 of 41 pass attempts for 265 yards and 2 touchdowns and no turnovers to go along with 48 rushing yards. He had 23 fantasy points against the 49ers. It was the best fantasy start through 4 games this season as he continues to start in place of Kyler Murray. T-Money, are you taking Josh Dobbs this week as a start at home against that struggling Bengals squad, or would that be a mistake?
I am taking him, okay? And I did take him on the waiver wire, and he's starting in place of Justin Herbert this week when he's on a bye. Look, he didn't have a good week 1. Who would? He got thrown into the Wolves, traded last second right before the season to the Cardinals, just learning the offense. Since then, versus the Giants, 25 points. Versus Dallas, an amazing defense, still had 17 points. And then versus San Francisco, maybe the best defense in the league, he had 23 points. He hasn't had a single interception this year. And right now, he's projected the 6th highest fantasy points in the NFL as QBs right now. So give me Josh Dobbs all day. Take.
Okay. Very good, T-Money. Good advice there. Let's wrap this up and pull it all together. Looking at my DFS lineup for the week. And by the way, T-Money, I got into a DFS tournament, 12 players. I won the freaking tournament, man. How about that? So my DFS lineup, baby. All right. Hey, let's give you my lineup for this week, though. See if G-Mac can repeat for his DraftKings title. You can find me out on DraftKings. You'll see my name. Hey, let's go to quarterback. I really like Justin Fields with DJ Moore, but I really couldn't afford Justin Fields, so I'm going with Dobbs as my quarterback. But I like Justin Fields. If you can fit him in and you want to make some changes here to my idea, I like DJ Moore at the wide receiver with him. At running back, I like David Montgomery to really have a big day. I mentioned that earlier, along with Achane as my flex, and Josh Jacobs, because I made some savings on some other players. I was able to fit Josh Jacobs in at my running back. He had 28 fantasy points last week, and he should run all over Green Bay on Monday night. I like that. Whenever at receiver, I said DJ Moore. I like A.J. Brown. I like that Philly offense. I was able to get A.J. He was expensive, $8,000, but the guy is going off, and I was able to afford him because I saved money on some other areas. I wanted at tight end T.J. Hawkinson, but I couldn't afford him, so I went with Ertz. Ertz has been a top 10 tight end. He's had the opportunities. He's getting the targets. He dropped a touchdown. He could do it. And at DST, I got the Lions. T-Money, watch out for the Lions. DST facing Carolina this week. There's my lineup, T-Money.
All right. I like it.
All right. Hey, that's it for today's show, T Money. Thank you to our sponsors, Blue Tees Golf. Go to blueteesgolf.com, get 10% off your order. Put in our code FSHS. We hope you had fun and got some tips for NFL Week 5, Father Son Sports. Loves bringing you the energy. On behalf of Team Money, I'm G Man. See you next week.
Peace.